Hello, here's another hour-long full-length yoga practice, yoga class with me concentrating on stretching out the legs and shoulders a bit because so many of us have been at home more than usual with this bad weather and also because we've been confined at home, so we're sitting more than usual, not walking as much as usual, not using our legs as much. So anyway, this is just to loosen us up a little bit, hopefully. Okay, so let's start cross-legged. Start to tune into our breathing. Start to breathe from the diaphragm. Slow inhales and exhales. Keep your breath even. Slow it down, much slower than how you would normally breathe. And feel your diaphragm, feel your stomach expanding as you inhale. And then as you exhale, it hollows out. And you're breathing in and out through the nose. Deep, calming breath. Every time you inhale, you can feel the energy rising. And as you exhale, send your breath through your body. Inhale, exhale, thinking about nothing but your breath and your body and how the two are interacting together. Inhale, exhale. And keeping this slow rhythm of breath going throughout the practice. Keep tuned into the breath. Every time you move into a pose, inhale and exhale as you move out of it or as you settle more deeply into it. And now let's start to warm up our neck, keeping the same slow rhythm as our breathing. Slow circles round in one direction, inhaling when your head is back, exhaling when your head is forward, inhaling when your head is back, exhaling forwards, inhaling back, exhaling forwards, inhaling back, exhaling forwards, and then bringing the head back to center and going around the other way the same amount of times. Inhaling back, exhaling forwards, inhaling back, exhaling forwards, inhaling back, exhaling forwards, inhaling back. Is that the same amount of times? I never count. And then back to the center. And let's just stretch out the neck a little bit more. So tilt the head over towards your left shoulder And with your left hand, place your left hand on your right ear and just stretch the neck out slightly, not so that it hurts, but so that you can feel a little stretch. And then stretch out your right arm so that you're getting a little pull all the way along that part. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, same the other side. Right hand on left ear. Stretch your left arm out. Pull slightly. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, link your hands behind you and pull your arms back behind you. Squeezing your shoulder blades together, giving a good pull. And breathe, you're opening up your chest slightly as well. And then releasing from that, placing the right hand down on the floor next to you, lifting up the left arm, reaching over to the right, a good stretch. Keep both your sit bones on the floor and your hips facing forward. Breathe a couple of times here. Inhale, back to center, left hand down as you exhale, right hand over, stretch out your right side. Breathe. Inhale, back to center, and then this time let's walk our hands out in front of us, keeping your sit bones on the floor, bringing your head down towards the floor, stretching your arms as far forwards as they will go. Once you stretch them as far as you can, then sort of pull your fingertips along the floor a bit more to stretch even more. Feel your armpits stretching, your hips opening. Breathe. And then over to the right hand side, still keeping your hips facing forwards. It's just your arms and your upper body moving over. Stretch out your left side. Breathe. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, over to the left. Stretch and breathe here. Inhale, back to center, and then sit yourself back up again. And then once we're here, let's link the hands together and push the hands forwards, pull the arms forwards, feel the shoulders stretching open. And then you can flex your wrist a bit while you're here. And then let's turn the hands inside out again, lift our arms up and try and lift from the waist, not from the shoulders. So you're lifting your whole body up, stretching upwards. And then let's go over to the right. Inhale, back to center, over to the left. Breathe here. Inhale, back to center. And then bringing your arms down again, and we'll do some slow shrugs of the shoulders. So up and back and round, up and back and down, up and back and down. And then let's do them forwards, up and round and down, up and forwards and down, up and forwards and down. Very nice. Okay, and now let's do some stuff for our wrists, just to flex our wrists a bit more. We can do some little movements like this, and then let's do some little, just, I don't know, birds, dancing, butterflies, whatever you want to do, but just twisting your wrists about a bit, just to get them moving and pressing the wrists together. And then let's press the backs of the hands together, link the fingers, and then turn the arms inside out and pull the arms down towards you. Also pull your shoulders down so that you're feeling the stretch on your shoulders and your shoulders aren't up here. You can feel it in your elbows and pulling your fingers towards your feet so that your wrists are getting a stretch as well, the inside of your wrists. And then release and shake out the elbows into a chicken dance. Okay, and then from here, let's do a rotation, and then we'll come up onto our hands and knees. So left hand on right knee, right hand behind you. Lift up with your body forwards first as you inhale, and then as you exhale, turn at the waist, and then with your upper body and neck, turn to look at your right shoulder. Breathe a few rounds of breath here. Inhale back to center, exhale right hand on left knee, inhale up, exhale turn. Couple of rounds of breath here. Inhale back to center, and then let's come up onto our hands and knees, and we'll come into rabbit position. So the crown of your head on the floor, your forehead towards your knees, keep your bum up like this, and your arms go behind you on the floor as if they're in child's pose, but your bum is in the air, unlike in child's pose. And there's not much weight in your the crown of your head, it's your core that's holding you up, and you should feel a nice curve in your neck. Shouldn't hurt, it should feel a nice unrolling of your upper shoulders and neck when I'm eating my t-shirt. Breathe here. And then coming gently back up, and this time coming and sitting on your heels, and then bringing your body backwards, your hands out behind you. Maybe you can have your hands flat, or maybe you're just up on your fingertips. Hands behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades together, head back, open the chest, open your throat, fill your lungs with air. Big deep breaths. And then as you inhale, gently push yourself back up again. Come onto your hands and knees for some cat-cow. Think about a nice box-shaped position with everything in right angles. Your wrists are directly underneath your shoulders. Hands are hip width apart, shoulder width apart, knees are hip width apart. Flat back as we inhale, and then as we exhale, we're pushing everything up. Push down with your hands, but pull your shoulders and arms up. Inhale, tilt the other way, curve your spine, invert your spine, head up, bum up, arms are still straight. Exhale, push everything up again. Really stretch, your head's hanging down, your neck is loose, your head is loose. Inhale, going the other way again, really feeling your lower back curving. Exhale and continue in your own breath, your own rhythm, what you feel your body needs. Some people like to hang here for longer, some people like a bit more movement to mobilize their body. It's just what feels right for you. I like having a good stretch. Slowly with my breath, sometimes with 2 rounds of breath. And then in your own time, after the next inhale, so don't rush through it, finish what you're doing. Inhale one more time, and then come back to a flat neutral back. And then we'll slide the right leg out behind us, toes still on the floor, press down with the right hand, lift the left arm up in the air straight in front of you with the palm facing sideways. Keep your shoulders straight, your body straight, and your hips straight and facing forwards. And then you can stay like this if you want, or if you want to test your core a bit more and your balance, lift up your right leg no higher than your back and shoulders. So you don't want it up here, just no higher than your back. And keep your hips facing forwards. Try not to roll over to one side or with the leg out. Try and have it all in one straight line. Then keep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more round of breath. And then as you exhale, place everything back on the floor. And we'll go to the other side. So left leg back. Press down with your, yes, it is your left hand. And then your right arm forward. I'm so bad with my left and right. It's a real hazard as a yoga teacher. And imagine when I'm doing it in Portuguese, it's even worse. Keep breathing. Keep your hips facing forwards. One more breath. And then hands and knee, hand and knee back on the floor. Very nice. And we're just going to come forward into, I call it a gorilla plank. So put your hands into fists and come up onto your fist and put your hands just in front of your shoulders. So they're not underneath like they were before, but just underneath. And then we're going to start to lower the pelvis down and bring the shoulders over the wrists, but keep your back flat. You're slightly engaging your glutes and lower down only as far as then you can start to feel this part, your lower abdomen muscles engaging, because that's what we're trying to work. So don't start to sink down too low. It's nothing to do with a back bend. Keep your back straight and your core engaged and feel those muscles starting to wobble. And then you'll shake or whatever, and then you know that you're working them. Keep breathing. If you can't feel them, you're not doing it right. Move into position. One more breath. And then come and sit back on your heels. Keep your arms forwards, but this time put the fingertips on the floor. Open up the palms, put the fingertips on the floor. Keep the arms off the ground, but bring your head down towards the ground and stretch your arms out that way, and that should give you a nice stretch across your shoulders. Breathe. And then inhale, back up onto your hands and knees, and we're just going to thread the needle now. So keep your left hand down on the floor, lift your right arm up in the air, and then slide it under your left arm and bring your right ear and your right cheek and your right shoulder onto the mat. Your left hand has no weight in it whatsoever. It's your weight is all on your shoulder and your cheek. And then slightly pull your bum down towards your heels. Not very much, but slightly pull it down so that you're sliding your cheek into your shoulder and your shoulder is sinking into the mat. And you can gradually start to feel, if you start to relax, Some people hold themselves really tense in this position, but start to relax and you can feel everything starting to unclick. It's a brilliant stretch. And if you're used to this position, you can stretch your left arm forwards and even your left leg back if you want. And that gives you an even more of a stretch. If you're not used to it, just stay in the basic. Breathe. And then slide everything back to the center, and we do the same on the other side. So this time lift your left arm up in the air, slide it under your right one, bring your left ear, left cheek, left shoulder on the floor, sink down into it, start to feel everything loosening up. If you want, you can slide your right arm forward and maybe even your left leg back, but keep your toes on the floor. And then bringing everything back to your hands and knees, coming back onto your hands and knees. And then we'll come into a low lunge now. It's time to stretch our legs out, as I said we would do. And so bring your right foot forwards, slide your left knee back slightly so that you're getting a bit of a stretch along the quad. And then push your right knee forwards. Can you see? Push your right knee forwards. You can have your hands on the floor, or you can have them up if you want, onto your knee. And have a nice old stretch here, just to stretch out your legs a little bit. And then coming back up and swapping, so putting your right knee back, then your left foot forwards, and then push forwards. You can be up if you want, just whatever is more comfortable for you. A couple more rounds of breath. I forgot to count this one as well, but I think that's about the same, isn't it? And then put your hands back down, tuck your back toe under, lift your knee. We're going to bring the right foot forward, keep your body bent over, start to straighten your legs up, but keep your body hanging, your upper body hanging into a loose forward fold, Uttanasana. You can grab onto opposite elbows with your arms if you like. Hanging, your neck and head is loose, your shoulders are loose. You can even start to do little figure of eight or infinity symbols with your swaying your hips around and your upper arms, your upper body. Well, your arms. You've only got one set of arms. Just to start to loosen everything up. And then slowly, 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 let's unroll up to Tadasana, mountain pose. You'll be standing straight at the mat probably, unless you want to look at me. I'm standing sideways so that you can see me. So standing in Tadasana, mountain pose. Everything is active in this position. Your feet are ever so slightly apart. And I think I've talked in another video, I think I've talked about the spiral travelling up through the body. But if you imagine that we have a spiral in our body that starts from our big toes and then opens out across our feet, closes across the ankles, opens up across the shins, closes again at the thighs, sacrum's down, travels up, carries on travelling up through the centre, and then it starts to fan open across the chest, which then brings your shoulders down and your arms down and your shoulders open. Some people hold themselves up like this in mountain pose, but if you imagine that you've got this spiral opening up your chest, then that automatically brings your shoulders down. It's like your shoulder blades are coming down behind you. And so everything is active. You're pulling up. You can feel your muscles hugging in your thighs and out in your calves. That's the point of the spiral, going up that way, so that you can really feel that all your muscles in all the different muscles in your legs are working. Chin is level. And then rising the arms up above your head, linking the fingers together with the index fingers pointing upwards. We're going to come up onto our tiptoes to do a crescent sideways stretch. So come up with that, lift our heels and press your heels and your ankles together. And then we'll tilt over to the right, still up on your heels. And no, up on your tiptoes. I'm trying to come around to the front again. And then back up. And then over to the left. Keep your breathing going while you're doing this. Inhale back to center. Exhale over to the right. I'm going to fall over. Inhale back to center. Exhale back over to the left. Inhale back to center, and then put your heels back down, and then let's do a backwards stretch, so a little back bend. So going backwards, breathing here. Very nice, and then releasing the hands back down, and then we'll do a little flow. An adapted sun salutation, can't really call it a sun salutation. So standing in Tadasana, and then let's lift the arms up as we inhale. Exhale, bend over, place the hands on the floor, even if that means you have to bend your knees. Keep the hands on the floor, inhale, try and lift the body up slightly. Exhale, step the left leg back, and we're doing another stretch here for our quads, for our legs. So keep the left leg like that. Put your left hand to the inside of your right foot. Turn to the right. Lift your right arm up. Look to the right. Exhale, put your right hand down. Open twist this time. Turn the other way. Exhale, hands back down to either side of the foot. Bring the left foot forwards and then the right foot back. Inhale, keep the right hand down, lift the left arm up. Exhale, left hand down on the inside of the foot. Turn, open twist this side. Right hand up as you turn to the right. Exhale, hands on either side of the foot again. Inhale, step forwards. Exhale, bend right over again. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, hands back to heart. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, rising up. Exhale, hands flat down to the floor. Inhale, keep your hands to the floor, lift. Exhale, this time let's come back with the right leg back. Stretch it out. Keep your right hand on the floor as you inhale. Lift the left arm up, look to the left. Exhale, left hand down. Turn the other way, open twist again to the right. Right arm up. Exhale, hands on either side of the foot. Inhale, right foot forwards. Exhale, left foot back. Inhale, keep the left hand down. Turn to the right, lift the right arm up. Exhale, turn to the left. Put your right hand down. Lift your left hand up as you inhale. Exhale, hands back down to the floor. Inhale, step forwards. Exhale, fold back over again. Inhale, rising all the way up. Exhale, hands back to heart. Beautiful. Okay, let's come back into warrior one with the right leg forwards, left leg back. So back foot sort of 45-degree angle. Think about your spiral, so your thighs rolling in, hips are facing forwards, your knee is stacked over your ankle. So even if you're further up with your bend, still have your knee stacked over your ankle. You might need to widen your stance to do that. And you should always be able to see your big toe in front of your knee. So you might need to widen your stance if you can't. Arms up. Think about the shoulders being down. So that's like sliding your shoulder blades down your back again, like I was trying to explain before. Breathe here. And then we're going to come up in, swivel on the back toes, bring the heel off the floor and bring the leg so it's facing forwards. We're going to come into a high lunge here. We can come into another little back bend here if we like. So link the hands together and bring, twist the body backwards. Curve the body backwards. Feel that your quad is getting a good stretching out. And then straighten the leg back up again so you're not bent with the knee down. And then twist and turn over to the side of your bent knee, so over towards the right, with your arms out and the palms facing sideways. And look towards your back hand. And breathe a couple of rounds of breath here. And then bring the back hand to meet the front hand. Drop the left foot back down again. Bring the arms back up so that you're in warrior one again. We're not going to stay in warrior one. We're just opening up now to warrior two, which is a slightly wider stance. Maybe your foot comes out a bit more. Your body comes round slightly, but you're still trying to keep your hips forwards. But because your arms are out to the side, your body is naturally going to come round a bit more. Looking towards your front hand, your arms are in one nice straight line across the shoulders. And then from here, we're going to come into eagle arms to stretch out. We'll stay in warrior legs, but come into eagle arms. So the right arm comes under the left one, crossing the arms together and then trying to connect the palms together. My palms don't reach, but I've got my fingers on my palms. And then lifting up and out, you can see from this side, lifting up and out so that you're getting a real stretch across your shoulder blades. Keeping your arms up in towards the centre of your face. And breathe. Three rounds of breath. Very nice. And then releasing from here, bringing your hands down either side of the foot, swiveling the back foot round. And we're going to bring the right foot back and come into downward facing dog. So stretch out in downward facing dog. Feet are hip width apart. Hands are shoulder width apart. You're pressing down with your index finger and your thumb. All your fingers are engaging with the floor though, and the heel of your hand as well. Your head is pulling towards your knees. Your heels are pulling down towards the floor. Your bum is pushing up in the air, and your shoulders are rolled open. Breathe here. And then let's come into three-legged dog. So lift the right leg up in the air, point the toes. Keep everything else facing forwards. And then bring that right leg forwards, and then step the left leg forward slightly as well. Straighten up the legs, but keep your hands on the floor and your body bending over the front leg, the right leg. But both your legs are straight now and your feet are parallel facing forwards. Parallel but stepped apart. And this, we're having a hamstring stretch here for the right leg, which is something that's quite useful to do when we've been sitting for long periods of time. Breathe. And then from here I'd like to come into reverse triangle. So this is a good test for our balance. So bringing your left hand over to the outside of your right foot, and then turning at the waist, bringing your right arm up in the air so that you're in a straight line, your arms are in a straight line. And if you can't manage to have your arm in the air, then the arm on the small, the hand on the small of your back is fine as well. So just do what you can if you're finding your balance a bit difficult like this. Breathe here. And then hands either side of your foot again, and we're going to come into standing splits from here. So your hands are just in front of your foot, and then you're lifting your back leg straight up in the air like we did for three-legged dog, but this time we're pulling our body as close as we can to the front leg. Breathe. Very good. Okay, and then bring the left foot forwards to the front foot. Keep your body hanging over. We're in another forward fold, but this time we'll make it an active one. So either grab onto behind your shins, so your ankles, and pull your body towards your legs, or you can hold on to your big toes with your two forefingers and bend your elbows and pull your body down. It depends what you can reach. Stretch your legs out. And then let's slowly unroll back up to Tadasana and do all of that on the other side as well. So I'll go up to this side of the mat so that you can see me open again. I think is probably the best way, otherwise I'm got my back to you mentally, although I did I think for quite a lot of that sequence. Anyway, warrior one with I'll maybe move around a bit. Warrior one with the left leg forward this time, hips facing forward, arms up in the air. Breathe. And then let's come up onto the right toes. Bring the foot forwards. Bend the knee a bit so that you've got a nice quad stretch going on. We'll do another little back bend here because we're doing quite a lot of forward folds as well. So a nice little back bend here. Open up the shoulders a bit. And then let's come up and not fall over. Let's drop the foot back down again and then open up. This is why my hashtag is keeping yoga real. Oh no, and then you see I've forgotten the sequence now. I'm going to turn around this way. It was because I was going to turn around and then I got lost my balance. Because we want to do the twist again, don't we? So straighten the knee, the back knee that was bent, straighten it and then open up. That's what I was planning to do. And then left hand, but look towards your left hand. Breathe. And then let's bring the left hand towards the right one. This is where we drop the heel down. Come back in briefly to warrior one. I'm going to come round to this side again so that I'm open again. This is why I was getting confused, because I was turning round. And then let's open up into warrior two. And then from here we'll do eagle arms again. So this time it's the left hand under the right. So like that, left arm under the right. And then pull them up, in, out and up, so that you're getting real stretch across your shoulders, across your shoulder blades, your upper back. Okay, and then release from that. Hands down to the floor, either side of the foot. Come back into a downward facing dog. Stretch out in your downward facing dog. Think about rolling your shoulders out, your head pulling towards your knees. Pressing down with your forefinger and your thumb and all your fingers pressing forwards. And then three-legged dog on this side, on the left side. So lift the left leg up in the air. Point the toes. And then bring it forwards and step the right leg forwards as well, so that you're in your parallel foot, slightly closer feet. And you're in your hamstring stretch, reaching your body over your left leg, which is straight. Your hands are either side. And if your hands don't easily reach the floor, because you want to have this leg straight really, so if your hands don't easily reach the floor like that with a straight leg, then maybe hold on behind your leg or something. So that, because if your leg's bent, you're not getting the hamstring stretch. You only get it with the straight leg. So you might have to lift your body up or use blocks. And then from here, we'll do a reverse triangle. So this time on this side, so you can see it from this side. So the right hand goes to the outside of the left foot. And then you turn your body, and as you turn your body and open, your arm is coming up. And then you want your arms to try and be in a straight line, and you want your chest open. I can't do it and look at the same time. And if that's not comfortable, then you can put your hand on your back. Breathe. Okay, and then hands back down either side of the foot, but just in front of the foot. We're going to come up into standing splits on this side. So bring the right leg up in the air. Bring your head, your body in towards your standing leg. Pull it down towards it, and bring your left leg up as high as you can. As you see, mine doesn't go very high. One more breath. And then let's drop the back foot down, bend the knees, bring the right knee down onto the floor so that we're kneeling on the mat. And from here, I'd like to come into pigeon. So keeping kneeling on the mat, we're going to bring the left heel in towards the right groin area, which will involve dropping the left knee down. But first, let's bring the right foot over and then drop the knee down fairly, start with the knee fairly forwards, and then we can always move it into position afterwards. Slide your right leg further back. I'm going to keep it up a little bit just so you can see. Yours will be on the floor, mine will be in a minute, but I just want you to see where my heel is going to end up. Maybe I'll do it from the front. It's going to end up in my groin area here. Okay, and that's where your heel should be. And then you can then start to experiment with how far out you can move your knee, but keep your heel in the groin area. So it's not, you know, it's good to have your knee out to the side, but not if that means that your foot is up here somewhere. That's not what we're trying to do. So try and connect your heel with your groin, and then your knee comes out to wherever you can get it out with your heel like that. And then we'll start with a little back bend, and then your right leg, sorry, is just on the floor, slid back, like when we were doing our low lunges, slid back. And then we'll start up in the air with a little back bend on our fingertips, bending our back slightly, and then coming down onto our forearms. And the idea with the stretch, the reason you're trying to move your knee out to the side, by the way, is because you're trying to get a stretch here in your glute, but also up along this side here. So if you're not feeling that stretch and your knee is forwards, it's too far forward. So you need to pull it out to the side a bit. You maybe can't bring it out as far as this because you might not have such open hips. Mine aren't even that open, to be honest. But so, you know, you might not be able to get it out that far, but don't keep it too far forwards because then you won't feel the stretch where you want to feel the stretch. So then forearms on the floor, and then if you can, lower your head onto the floor as well. And breathe here, breathe into the glute. Okay, and then gently lifting yourself back up. We need to swap sides, so come back to a kneeling position, and maybe you want to tap your feet on the floor, maybe one's gone a little bit numb, I don't know. And so this time let's slide the left leg back a little bit. Bring your right foot up first, and then drop the foot onto its side with the heel over towards the left hand side. Drop the knee down, and then settle your heel into your the left side of your groin, and then shift your knee to where your knee needs to be. We'll start with a little back bend again first, so on your fingertips, stretching your back. And you see your back leg is completely flat. Well, you know, as completely flat as it can be on the floor behind you. I mean, what I mean is you're not kind of like straining it or anything. And then come down onto your forearms. Settle yourself in position. You might need to adjust your knee again. And then, if you can, head on the floor as well, forehead on the floor as well. And breathe into it. I can't even remember how many we did on the other side. Okay, very nice. And then gently lifting yourself back up. We're going to come back up into downward facing dog now. So tuck your left toes under, bring your knee up, and then push up into your hands, bring your right leg back into downward facing dog, pedal your feet out, have a stretch in downward facing dog, and then bring the feet, walk the feet towards the hands, and then lift yourself up into Tadasana again. And I just want to come into a wide-legged forward fold before we come down fully onto the mat for some seated stuff. So let's open our legs wide. Another shoulder thing I wanted to do. Open our legs wide, feet facing forwards, and then link your hands behind you, pull your arms back, and then with a flat back, start to lower yourself down, gently coming down, and maybe your arms are going to start to come over towards the floor as well. Just let your shoulders do what they're going to do. Your arms pulling down with gravity, and just let yourself hang. And then gently releasing the hands down onto the mat in front of you. Bending your knees, and your feet are going to come out a little bit as well. And then hands together, your elbows and your shoulders are in between your knees so that you're in a squat. A sumo wrestler squat thing. Opening up your hips. And then we're going to come and sit down on the floor. So hands behind you, sit down, legs straight out in front of you. We'll come into Dandasana, which is the seated version of Tadasana, mountain pose. So feet are flexed, legs are active. Think about your thighs rolling in, hands on either side of your hips, back is straight, arms down, chest is open. Breathe. Lovely, and from here we're going to come into a rotation, into a twist. So keeping the left leg forward, bend the right foot up, just as it is alongside, and then wrap the right arm around the knee. I'll come more around this way so that you can see me better. And then the left hand on the floor beside you, and again you can adjust where you want your left hand to be depending on how much of a rotation you want. Lift up as you inhale before you turn, and then as you exhale, turn from the waist and then turn your upper body and your neck and look over your left shoulder. And you can move your hand where you want it, depending on how much of a twist you want. And keep your left foot flexed, and then you're working your leg as well. Never miss an opportunity. Breathe here. Inhale back to the center, swapping legs. So this time right leg forwards, left leg bent, left arm wrapped round the left knee, right hand on the floor behind you, straight back, lifting up as you inhale, and then as you exhale, your right arm is straight as well. As you exhale, turn and look over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center, and then let's bring the soles of the feet together. We're going to come into Baddha Konasana, so the soles of the feet together. Bring the ankles as close to your heels, as close to your groin as you can get them. Knees are opening as you're doing this, hips are opening. Grab hold of your toes with your hands, wrap your hands, and I like to link my fingers round your toes so that you're squeezing your feet together. And then lift up. And then as you exhale, hinge forwards from your hips with a flat back and with your spinal column all in one line. So your head's up, you're not hanging your head down. You're pulling with your hands and your elbows are somewhere on the inside of your legs, helping to push your legs open a bit more and also helping to pull you forwards. So from this side, you can see me. You see my back's quite straight. I'm not rounding it or hanging my head or straining too much. It's coming from this part of my back and the movement of my hands pulling me forward. And you can, I mean, if you can come down, you can come down, but not if that just means going like that. You're better off up here, unless you can come down with a flat back. Opening up your hips. And then gradually sitting yourself back up again, keeping your feet like that, and now grabbing onto the toes with wrapping your two forefingers around your toes, and we're going to try and lift our feet up, lift our legs up in the air. So gradually lifting your legs up and your knees are coming together, straightening up as you lift them up in the air, and you're balancing. Maybe I should do it to the side and then you can see more. You're trying not to lean back too much if you can help it. And the cat's looking at the screen. He's quite fascinated. He's not looking at me, he's looking at me on the screen. That's really funny. And then if you can, start to open the legs wide, but not falling over. What are you looking at, Samba? The cat's trying to touch me on the screen now with his paw. He can't work out that I'm behind him. And you can let go now and let your legs down onto the floor, legs wide. Samba, I'm here. Legs wide. And then let's lean forwards like we did right at the beginning. Try and pad your hands forwards. Just stretch forwards. This time you can hang your neck down. And then slowly bringing yourself back up again. And we'll just come into savasana, so which I can never say properly. So keep the right leg out, bend the left leg with the sole of the foot against the thigh as if you're in a tree position, and then but your hips are facing forwards but your legs out to the side. Then lift your arms up, and then we're going to bend over the straight leg, aim towards the foot, and you're looking over the foot, and again you're trying to have a flattish back if you can. And if you can't hold on to the foot, then maybe you hold on to the leg or get a strap. And then straightening back up again, swapping legs, left leg out, right leg, then sole of the foot against it, lifting up exhaling over, and then a few rounds of breath here as you sink into it. Hello, my boy. And then, hello, sweetie. And then sitting back up again. And we're going to come into Matsyasana, fish pose now, just to invert our back the other way again, because again, we've been doing some forward folds. So legs straight out in front of you. Slide your hands with the fingers facing towards your feet under your bum, so sit on your hands. And then lower down onto your forearms, just as far as your elbows. And then push your chest up, curve your back, hang your head back, try and get your head down to the floor, but just only staying on your elbows and forearms. Back of the head to the floor, pushing your chest up, point your toes, and just enjoy the stretch that's happening in your back that way. One more breath. And then slide your head down, your back down on the floor. Bend your knees, bring your feet up towards your bum. Release your hands and then bring one knee into the chest and give it a good squeeze. And then put the foot down and bring the other one in and give it a good squeeze. And then bring both of them in and wrap your arms around them and have a little rock on the mat and give yourself a little back massage. And then kick your feet up in the air, shake them all about, and maybe do rotations with your ankles round in one direction and then round in the other direction. And maybe we just want to open our legs out wide one last time and grab. I like to grab on the inside of my thighs and pull. That helps just to release my hip flexors. And then bringing them back together. Left leg down on the mat, grab hold of the right one, pull it towards your head and lift your head up and pull your both head towards the leg and leg towards the head. And then swap the other way. Right leg down, left leg up, pull. And then releasing your feet back down to the floor. Bend your knees together. Drop your knees down to the right, keeping your shoulders on the floor. Reach your arm out to the left, look left. 2 rounds of breath here. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, knees down to the left. Reach your right arm out, look right. 2 rounds of breath here. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, knees down to the right. Reach your arm out to the left. Look left. Inhale back to the centre. Knees down to the left. Reach your right arm out. Look right. And then you can bring your knees back to the centre. Slide your legs down. Bring your arms by your sides, palms facing upwards. And start to relax into Shavasana. Start to relax your body completely, letting go of any tension that might be remaining, anything you're still holding on to that you might not even be aware that you're still holding on to. Think about relaxing your whole body, starting from the tips of your toes all the way up to the top of your head, scanning through. So starting to relax your toes, each one of your toes. Relax your feet, relax your ankles, relax your shins, and your knees, and your thighs. Relax your hips, and the hands on either side of your hips. Each finger, relax each finger. Relax your wrists, relax your arms, your elbows, your shoulders. Relax your chest and your stomach. You can still feel your chest rising and falling with your breath, but now even your breath is relaxed. Just its own soft, natural rhythm. No need to control it anymore. Your neck is relaxed. Your chin is relaxed. Even your ears and your jaw and your lips and your nose and your cheeks completely relaxed. Your eyes are relaxed. Your forehead is relaxed. And the top of your head, your whole body is relaxed. And then when you're ready, bringing some movement back into your body, maybe wriggling your ankles and feet and wrists and fingers. Maybe you want to windscreen wiper your legs from side to side, shake your hips out and shrug your shoulders. Stretch your arms over your head maybe and give yourself a full body stretch. Or maybe you want to bring your knees back up to your chest. Hug your knees in, give yourself another little back massage one last time. And then when you're ready, roll over onto the right hand side. And slowly lift yourself up, back to a seated position. Hands back on your knees. Let's tune back into our breathing for just one last round of breath. Close your eyes. Breathe deeply. And remember that this feeling of peace, this calm, is always there within you whenever you need it, whenever you need to feel calm, to relax, a moment of tranquility. You can always just go inside yourself and breathe. And then let's bring our hands together, touch our thumbs to our heart, bow forwards to seal the practice. Namaste.